Good morning. Let's explore the intersection of meditation and good karma. The luminaries who founded the various spiritual traditions were very acquiescent, very gentle, very yin. But within a generation or three, people snuck into their traditions and made them very rigid, very yang, very controlling, very authoritarian. And the people prone to authoritarianism, who delight in using the illusion of authority to disempower others, love the idea of good karma and bad karma. Although the word karma is Sanskrit and the word kama is Pali, the idea of merit and demerit is found in every spiritual tradition dominated by patriarchy or authoritarianism. The illusion in Buddhism is, if my technique isn't working, it must be because I don't have enough good karma. Therefore, if I just give enough money to the temple, my karma will be purified and I'll quickly become a Buddha. What a wonderful way of fleecing the flock. But whether you call it matriarchy or path yin or the path of love or the path of yielding, has no use for such folly. When we closely examine Buddha's 4 fundamental meditation manuals, the only mention of cause and effect is in terms of our 5 aggregates. In other words, form affects feelings, which affect our labels, which affect our impulses, which affect our consciousness. So in Buddhism, in the original teachings, there was mention of interdependence, but not in a punitive, manipulative sense. In the days of, in the formative years of Martin Luther, there was a popular notion in the Catholic Church that one could buy what they called an indulgence. And the moment your coin dropped inside the box, your sins were eradicated and your relatives were freed from purgatory. Again, a very efficient way of fleecing the flock. Now, in the essence of what Buddha taught, there's a very, what I want to say here, pragmatic view of causality. In other words, if we train our mind properly, we'll get certain results. If we don't train our mind at all or train it improperly, we won't get certain results. So there's nothing mystical or magical. It's kind of like diet. If you eat the wrong foods, it'll affect your body negatively. If you eat the right foods, it will affect your body positively. There is nothing mystical or magical about causality. So, if we are using a method with a specific goal in mind, but we find ourselves moving further away from the goal, despite our consistent enthusiastic action, rather than question the presence of a mysterious force called karma, simply wonder if the technique you're using isn't as effective as you'd like it to be, and shop for another technique. Such thinking was fundamental to Buddha's teachings, but horrifying to authoritarian greedy religious figures who don't really care if their techniques work or not. They just wish to empty the pockets of their students. Now, let's wrap this up in a nice bow. There is causality. If you run up to a policeman and kick him in the shins, you will probably be arrested. That's cause and effect. And so I recommend none of my students run up to police officers and recreationally kick them in the shins. You will have a very bad day if you do that. If we, in view of interdependence, let us remember, let us apply our interdependence to our compassion and be as loving to others as possible in the hopes that they'll have a better day because of it. In terms of our own happiness and well-being, in terms of cause and effect, let's remember that if we apply the right techniques in the right manner with the right frequency, it could improve our lives. But if we're practicing twice a day, every day, and are not making progress, it's time to examine the techniques that we're using and perhaps shop for better techniques. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this is the Buddha Joy Meditation School.